All right, so as we know, next week, Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic finally goes down after a year's wait. And in the meantime, Tom Aspinall became the interim champion, and he's defended that strap as well when he got revenge against Curtis Blaze, the only loss in his UFC career, where Tom blew out his knee in the first opening seconds. He got revenge. He defended the interim strap. And of course, the whole world wants to see the unification bout between the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world and the interim heavyweight champion of the world. Now, today, I saw an interview with Jon Jones, and I was left scratching my head, and I was kind of lost for words. I was lost for words, but I'm still going to ramble on about it for about 10 minutes. So today, Jon Jones, the undisputed champion, was talking to longtime boxing and MMA journalist, one of the best in the business, the one and only Kevin Iole, formerly of Yahoo Sports. He's been covering this sport, combat sports in general, all of his life. I've known Kevin since 2007 when he came out to England to cover one of my fights. Now he's on his own. He's doing his own thing on YouTube, so give the man a follow and check out his stuff. He's tremendous at what he does. He was speaking to Jon Bones Jones, and he asked him about if he's victorious against Stipe Miocic. Of course, we can't take that for granted, but if he is, will he fight Tom Aspinall next? And he basically said that Tom Aspinall doesn't deserve it.
If you defeat him, will you defend your belt against Aspinall, who has the interim title?
More than likely not. More than likely not. I feel like Tom Aspinall is, I don't want to say nobody. He just hasn't proven anything. He hasn't done anything. He won his belt against Sergey. Sergey just got slaughtered by someone else. So it's just like, I'm not here to gamble someone else making a name off of me. I'm here to compete against the guys where when we look back, 10 years from now, it'd be like Jon Jones fought this guy and that guy and this legend and this champion and this champion.
He said that Tom Aspinall's kind of, hot property right now, but he could be here today, gone tomorrow. He used examples like Johnny Walker, when Johnny Walker was a hot rising prospect, knocking everybody out. But then he lost a couple of fights. He said, look at Johnny Walker. That never really panned out.
I remember a time when the whole world thought Johnny Walker was going to be the guy to beat me. And no disrespect for Johnny Walker, but we all have seen the way his career's played out. I've just been here too long to get all excited about someone who's hot today. I'm here for legacy. I've been gambling for way too long to just take random fights.
Well, guess what? Not everybody can go on undefeated like Jon Jones did. Jon Jones is an enigma. That's why people talk about him being the pound for pound best fighter on the planet. He's certainly one of them, okay? But the reality is, Jon Jones is now the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. And when he fights Stipe Miocic, and if he is victorious, then he has to face Tom Aspinall next. This is just the way the world works, okay? If he doesn't, this is, in the words of Khabib Nurmagomedov, number one bullshit.
This is number one bullshit.
Okay? I'm telling you right now, it is number one bullshit. And if he refuses to fight Tom Aspinall next, then we got to start having a serious conversation as to whether or not this man should be stripped. Jon is the undisputed champion of the world. Tom is the interim champion. This is how it works. They face one another. He's calling out Alex Pereira for a legacy fight.
If there were to be a fight of a guy that's still on our UFC roster that would be not only financially worth it, but legacy worth it, it would be Alex Pereira. We're both 37 years old, and I think that fight would go much farther on my legacy than a young man who's cool today and maybe gone tomorrow.
He's calling out Alex Pereira because, whoa, wouldn't that be incredible? Later on, when people go through your resume and they see the people that you fought and that you beat, oh my God. Well, that wasn't your thinking at light heavyweight. You were taking on all comers. And that is what a champion is supposed to do. Take on all comers, certainly people that deserve it, people that have put themselves at the front of the queue by stringing together a winning streak. And then certainly when one man has the legitimate right to call himself the interim heavyweight champion of the world, walk around with the belt on his shoulder and defending the interim champion as well. What I'm saying is sounds crazy. I'm not saying this as a Jon Jones hater, but if this was boxing, Jon Jones would be stripped. That's a fact. Case in point, and this happens all the time in boxing, and granted, they're very different sports. But in boxing, let's look at this recently. Alexander Usyk fought Tyson Fury for the undisputed belts, okay? Usyk won. He was the champion of 4 divisions. Undisputed. Unbelievable. But guess what? He's going to rematch Tyson Fury again next month. The mandatory IBF challenger was Felipe Hergov. But because he's going to rematch Tyson Fury, Usyk was stripped of the IBF title. So he's no longer the undisputed champion. Still got 3 belts. That's still very impressive, and I'm looking forward to that. But it's not for the 4 undisputed belts. And this should be the same thing. If Jon Jones refuses to fight Tom Aspinall, then this is just some craziness, okay? And it will tarnish his legacy. I've kind of defended it, okay? I've said I understand why the fight's going ahead. It's the only reason that Tom is the interim champion in the first place. He was supposed to fight Stipe. He got injured. That's a part of the sport. It's a reality. They've taken a year away. So, of course, they do an interim title. That's what they do when somebody is injured. That's what they did with my situation. I was the champion. I needed surgery. I was going to be away a long time. So Dana said, we're going to have to do an interim championship. I said, sure, fair enough. Robert Whittaker fought Yoel Romero. I walked in the octagon and challenged the winner, Robert Whittaker.
First of all, Robert, that was an awesome fight. Romero, well done. I wanted to come here and talk a lot, but it was an awesome fight. But the fact that you're standing there with that belt on like you're a champion makes me sick. You should be ashamed of yourself.
We were supposed to coach the Ultimate Fighter together, but Robert couldn't do it for one reason or the other. I don't know if it was contractually, I don't know if it was negotiations, but I do know Robert got injured and he ended up not fighting again for another year against Yoel Romero once more. And I ended up fighting against George St. Pierre, making a shitload of dough. And I lost my belt. Well done to George St. Pierre. By the way, in that fight, when I walked in, I saw Robert Whittaker. He's the nicest guy on planet Earth. He really is. But when I walked in and Whittaker's there with the belt on and he's all ripped and the sweat's dripping down him and the light's catching him and he's glistening and there's blood pouring down his face and he's got a belt around his waist, right? I'm like, oh my God. The old fighter version of Mikey B came out. I threw the belt on the floor. I said, right, listen, we're both champions. Let's fight over it. Let's dance.
Here, take that, fight me for it. I'll see you soon. Can I keep that?
As it turns out, it's a shame that one never happened. But in this situation, it absolutely has to happen. Of course, Alex Pereira is incredible. I'm a huge fan. Take my money right now. I would love to see them fight. Sure, man. But that's only if Jon Jones can get through Tom Aspinall. Simple as that. There is no discussions for any other fight to happen. Simple. Even if Stipe Miocic wins, there's a good chance that Stipe may retire. Well, once again, you do Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall for the undisputed belt, for the vacant heavyweight strap. Either way you slice it, if Jon Jones is staying at heavyweight, then he has to face Tom Aspinall. And if he doesn't stay at heavyweight and goes back down to light heavyweight, then again, it's as bad as him not fighting him. This will tarnish his legacy. All of the great work, and by the way, what a sensational body of work. Jon Jones was undefeated in 16 consecutive title fights. That is mind-blowing. That is why people say he is the greatest of all time. And I'm with that. He is. 16 consecutive title fights and he won them all, taking on multiple generations of contenders in all different styles. You have to respect that. But not giving Tom Aspinall his due, not giving him what he has worked his ass off, not giving the world what we want to see as fans, but more importantly, as men. This is what has got to happen, not Alex Pereira. That would be a great fight. Of course it would. But it would be almost like the same fight against Cyril Gane. We've seen that. Jon Jones is a tremendous wrestler, okay? He would use his wrestling, take him down, choke him out. And you got to think that that's why he's saying this, okay? Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not saying that Jon Jones is scared of Tom Aspinall, but there's got to be that narrative now. By the time you're watching this video, I'm sure that that clip has gone viral. I'm sure that it's headlines all over the place, okay? It's not a good look when you're a champion and there's an undisputed champion that you're saying you will not fight and you're calling out the champion from the weight class below. It's just not a good look. And as I say, I'm not saying Jon Jones should be stripped. I'm just saying there needs to be a very serious conversation about it. Maybe it's some high-level trash talk that I don't get. Maybe he's playing mind games with Tom Aspinall that I'm just not hip to, okay? Or maybe he just doesn't want to fight Tom. And if that's the case, if he doesn't fight Tom Aspinall, it won't be the greatest of all time. It won't be the man that defended the light heavyweight strap 15 times in a row. It won't be one of the greatest fighters of all time. It'll be the man that ducked Tom Aspinall. And I say that with a lot of respect for Jon Jones. I truly mean that. I mean that a lot. I'm not talking about the stuff outside of the octagon. We've all made mistakes. I certainly have. I'm talking about what he accomplished inside the octagon. If he doesn't fight Tom Aspinall, it's a very, very bad look. Anyway, I've rambled on for a while. What do you think of this whole situation? It's a little bit of a mess if you ask me, but I don't know. Maybe Jon Jones knows what he's doing. Maybe he's playing some master game of poker, messing with Tom Aspinall, making himself get an even bigger paycheck along the way. What do you think he's doing? Because I still don't know what to make of this whole situation. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and ring the bell. See you soon.